All right, today I'm going to do a repotting of one of my halls. I'm going to repot the, how do you even say that? Sarcocaulon vanderietiae, whatever. Anyway, this is it, okay? So this genetically has a windswept look. Genetically, so even if there's no wind, it still looks windswept. So obviously millions of years of evolution has told it should be windswept to avoid dying. So what I've got here today is I've got my 90% grit mix, 90% or 85% grit mix, a little bit of potting mix, and a little bit of oyster shell. The oyster shell is purely for buffering the soil, but also increasing the pH just a little bit for these cacti, okay? So you can see heavy grit mix. And then any big pieces of bark I will remove. I don't want it, but there's not many there today, so there we go. Now, I'm not putting any Osmocote on this because these particular plants don't need much Osmocote, so I'm not going to put much Osmocote on there. I'm actually just going to put Osmocote on top when I water these plants. There's already a little bit of Osmocote in the potting mix. I don't want to overdo it because these are low nutrient plants that I'm about to plant now. So this one here, okay, this one here comes in its own perfectly good grit mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some of that grit mix. I'm actually going to use some of that grit mix again because relatively fresh, so I don't want to have to waste it just for the sake of it. Okay, as usual. But first, these bonsai pots are funny, okay? These bonsai pots have little pockets in them. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put some stones on the corners so the water doesn't pool too much in the corners. It just helps displace some of that water as it gathers so it drains in the middle. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. This is just purely because of the pot itself. Am I overthinking it? Maybe. Does it matter? No. So shut up. Okay. So I've got this here just purely to stop it from... Usually you're supposed to have a little mesh. I don't have a mesh. So I'm just going to do an improvised temporary biological plug. There we go. So that's going to be basically purely for... There we go. Oh, I should really... See, look at that. I should really have a tray. There we go. I've got a tray. Yeah. So, not quite working as well as I hoped, but hopefully it will work. That's all right. It'll work good enough. Okay, so I don't want to disturb the roots too much. Now, I'm actually going to plant it offset. Why do you ask? Because it doesn't matter. So when I plant it offset and then put a stone here or something later, So the soil that this comes with, it's infamous. People buy this guy's soil all over New Zealand, and okay, so there you go. Sakes. Actually, I lifted up the plant just a little bit. I think that should be okay. I lifted it out a little bit, not intentionally, just by how it landed. So I'm going to put, there you go. So these stones are for heat, okay? There we go. So that plant is a little bit loose, but it will get tighter over time. And I'm actually going to put it at a different place to all of my other plants. I'm going to put it by a windowsill, especially during winter where I know it gets a lot of sun. Anyway, see you next time.